Hey, I'm Noel Powell from creationeffects.com. I was playing around in After Effects and I stumbled upon this trippy little tracking particles effect. It creates little points on the objects in your footage and then they stick to it, to whatever's moving. So I thought it was really cool and I made a template from it. It's just $15 and you can just drop in your footage and it's got a bunch of preset looks to choose from and also a lot of customization controls so you can tweak it to get the right look for your footage. It's a really fun effect. I could see it being good for music videos or social media edits if you want something that looks unique and catches people's attention. So this will just be a short tutorial to show you how to use the template. I should mention that I also added this effect to two larger bundles of effects for footage. One is an art effects pack and the other is a trippy effect pack. So I'll show those off at the end. But right now, let's just go over this template. After you download the zip file, you can extract the contents and then open this project file in Adobe After Effects 2022 or later. So there are identical effects here for both HD and 4K footage. Just open the one you want. And the first thing to do is drop your footage into this Put Your Footage Here comp. And I already imported some footage here, so I'll just drag that in. And this part is important. You want to make sure the footage has good dynamic range. So bright whites and dark blacks. If you skip this step, there's a good chance that you'll get an error later when you analyze the footage. So we can do that by adding a levels individual controls effect, and then bring the left and right arrows inward to where the hills start on our histogram. And if the brightness of the footage changes throughout the clip, you can keyframe these two properties. All right, next I'll open my main effect, the tracking particles effect comp. And I'll delete this example animation. And there are instructions here with 4 simple steps. We already did the first one. That was the levels effect. So now we would set the duration of these blue layers. Just keep the same duration as the area you want to render, because if they're really long, the effect will take a long time to analyze the footage. And I can hide my instructions layer. If you haven't already guessed it, this effect is done by camera tracking your footage. So that is step 3. Everything's set up for you. You just have to click a button. So we'll go to our first blue layer, the camera track points 1 layer. And in this 3D camera tracker effect, we'll click analyze. And we can go ahead and do that for all 5 of the blue layers. And it may take a minute for them to finish analyzing. Now, each of these copies of your footage should create different track points because each copy has a different brightness. And these are actually all pre-comp layers. And you can see the pre-comps in the pre-comps and files folder. Here they are. So once that's done, it's just one final step. We'll go to our first camera track points layer and click Create Camera, which creates a new 3D camera. And now the fun part, you can go to your control layer and you can choose any of these presets to see the different looks. And if needed, you can customize those looks using the slider controls down here. Just be sure if you change these values to always hit the reset button up here before choosing a different preset. And if you want to build your own look from scratch, you can just set it to custom, which sets almost all the values to 0. Now these layers down here have a lot of effects which may turn on or off depending on the preset that's selected. You can always read about the effects in this comment column. The most important one is probably this Afterglow layer. Afterglow is how you get those bright, soft glows that you saw in the example animations. You can actually go download the Afterglow preset if you like. It's a totally free download at creationeffects.com. It basically does the same thing that expensive plugins do, but it's free. One last thing to show you, there's this Stippling effect comp, which is a much simpler version of the main comp. Stippling is a drawing technique where the shading is done with little dots. So this effect has been set up to imitate that, and it's got this animated paper background. And of course you can customize the size of the dots and the color and all that. So there you have it. That's the tracking particles effect. Like I said, I added this to the Creation Artifacts bundle for After Effects, which is 50 stylized art looks for your footage. So you can just drop in your footage and turn it into animated art in just about any artistic medium that you can think of, like watercolor painting, or pencil sketch, or Van Gogh, or halftone, graffiti, claymation, Legos, paper cutouts, pen scribbles, and just a whole lot more. Also, you'll find this effect in the Creation Trippy Effects pack for Adobe After Effects. That one is full of other weird trippy effects for your footage, like this one. All of them customizable, and it also has a bunch of custom trippy animations as well. So you can go check those out if you want. I'll leave the links in the description. If you're an After Effects nerd and you like this kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe. I'm always putting out new effects and tutorials, as well as a lot of free tools for After Effects. Enjoy the effects, and thanks for watching.